Welcome to Music and Medicine. I'm really excited today to be joined by William L. Johnson, veteran actor who's been involved in so many projects and films that you and I have both seen, including Blue Hill, Motives 1 and 2. Talk to us about kind of how you got bitten, so to speak, by the acting bug.
You know what? I'm originally from Gary, Indiana, and musical theater was my major in high school. But I loved performing, singing. So really performing and singing, that was really the thing that I enjoyed most. But I ended up, doing plays, in Chicago. It kind of like just happened. But I was still singing with a group. But when I moved to LA, I really just wanted to just sing, you know what I'm saying? So I was pursuing that. But because I still liked acting, I took a class. First class I took, I'm leaving. He was like, "You did good, so stay." So he put me in his master class that first day I was in there. And his name was Mark Malice, Prime Time Acting Studios, right over there on Cahuenga. And Hanna-Barbera was still up. There, Hanna-Barbera was right across the street from there. So after that, it was just a snowball effect. And once it started, it just kind of just took over on its own.
What was that first role that you were involved in where you felt like, not only do I love this, but I'm on my way now?
You know what? I did a movie with Tony Spires called 2 Degrees. I never forget it. I had a small role at first, and then the main actor who he had kept missing rehearsals and stuff like that.
Don't do that.
So he ended up hiring me as that lead character. It's called 2 Degrees. That was my first film, and that really gave me the confidence, and it let me know that I really had what it took to carry a film.
Absolutely. What project would you say was one of your favorites you really enjoyed because it maybe made you dig deeper?
It's a couple of them. I'll say one, of course, was Blue Hill Avenue. And it's a trip because the scene that really moved me the most, that cut it out of the film. But you can find it online. It's a scene with E-Bone and his grandmother when he comes to hear her. He needs to hear her say, "I love you," but he doesn't. That's why he ends up flipping on his friends. And I like doing independent films because I know a lot of filmmakers can't get an actor like myself. So it's a comedian friend of mine named Derek Ellis. I met him through Tony Spires as well. And he had a script called Bernie Problems. It was about a man who was on drugs who ends up becoming a motivational speaker. So it's really it's a movie about addiction. And when I read the script, I was like, okay, I would like to do this because it was right after COVID and I hadn't had anything lined up. So it really, got me ready, got my chops ready for the stuff that was to come after that.
Absolutely. On that note, what is it that you're looking for in a role? What kind of things really sort of excite you when you see a script?
You know what? I've done a lot of characters, bro. So the main thing now that I want to do in a film is play Marvin Gaye. I play Marvin Gaye in a movie. I'll never have to be in another film again. Because I've played so many characters that I've enjoyed playing. You know what I mean? So now it's time to direct and produce. Looking on that other side, what do you think are some of the challenges about the career that people need to understand or take in consideration that there are going to be some bumps? You know what? You got to believe in yourself. And you can't wait for this town to do nothing for you. I'm serious, because I done been in over 50-some projects with no representation. No manager, no agent. Everything has been through me wanting it, communicating with directors, being on time on set, knowing all my lines, not being a pain in the neck when I get there, because those things take you a long way. Just being on time. He here, he come on time, and the referrals come. So that's how I get a lot of work, it's referrals.
What do you think some of that reticence or ego kind of comes from, where people may develop a reputation of being late or not really being ready to know their lines and things? You know
what? It's different for everybody. But I have witnessed egos on set, and I just laugh at it. You know what I mean? Because I know, and I look at their careers now, it's like, oh my God, you don't even know who these people are anymore, Because sometimes when people get a taste of that dream, they like, oh, I done made it. Where my chair at? Where my trailer at? All of them funky attitudes, and then you never hear from them again. Because when you're on the set, you're spending money for that whole day. You're like, man, you're not on time. Because just being 20 minutes late can throw the whole day off. And that's money. Yeah, that's money. You got to be on time. You got to stay humble, and you got to be there to give.
Sure.
See, I'm that actor that's going to give that other actor something to respond to.
Right.
You know, so that's really what it's about. But a lot of those guys with that ego, you got to shrink it. And then when I'm acting with somebody that has an ego, once I rehearse with them, talk to them, calm them down,
Right.
they end up, man, you cool.
Sure.
Oh, man, you all right with me. I'm like, but at first you get all that, you know, but I'm real humble, I'm chill, I don't do none of that. So once they see that you're nothing like them, they're like, let me relax.
Right.
You know?
Do you sense that you've been able to develop confidence by not really being worried or trying to cover up an insecurity?
You know what? I've always had confidence.
Right.
I just learned early how to control the ego part of it.
Right.
You know what I mean? You can have confidence and still be humble.
Sure.
Because when you say action, it's on. You know what I'm saying? It was cut, it's back off.
Sure.
Yeah.
Let's talk about one of your recent projects or an upcoming one, if you can, that you really want people to see and maybe presents yet another side of you.
I have two right now. The Black Hamptons is in season 2
Right.
on BET Plus. It's a really good show about, you know, affluent black people with money.
Right.
None of that drug stuff.
Sure.
You know, and I really like that about it.
Sure.
You know, and it makes us look really good. It puts black people in a really good light. So now you get to see a guy, Lamont Rucker is the lead. I play his best friend, and he's an inventor. He owns all of his patents.
Wow.
How often do you hear that in a show?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He makes his own cell phones. You know what I mean? He make all these different things. You know what I'm saying? So you get to see that aspect. And then the other side of it is property. Owning your property, handing down generational wealth to your kids. It's all of that. Plus the pitfalls and everything that go with it. But we haven't had a show like that for us, and we need that.
Sure. You hinted something that's kind of deep, that's always kind of circulating in the community for about 50 years now. Do the independents sort of lead the way, opening that door to really showcase more of our not only talents, but our breadth of experience, as opposed to stereotypical roles of color?
You know what? We've been doing that since day one. Look at Spike Lee.
Right.
He put everybody on.
Right.
You know what I mean? Just Jasmine Guy, Denzel, the whole gambit. That's where we start. We don't never start up here.
Right.
It's unfortunate. You know, we start out with these low budgets, and we stay with them low budgets for years until you get that big break. You know, but another project and a filmmaker that I think should get recognition, his name is Van Elder. I've been knowing him for years. He and I worked on quite a few films. So we have a film on Amazon Prime that's doing good right now, titled The Kings of LA.
Sure.
And we flew to Colombia, and we shot a film called I Left My Heart in Colombia that'll be out sometime this year as well.
Sure. What's something you want to leave for others, for them to sort of realize as they look over your career or try to maybe follow in your footsteps? What pearls of wisdom?
You know what? Learn how to separate yourself from the characters. Always make sure you never do the same character over and over and over again like you see so many other actors. You know, I try to be a chameleon. If you look at a lot of my work, every character is separate from the last. You know, try to, you know, create your own lane too. Because I feel like I've created my own lane, you know. It's not always good not to have an agent, but I think I've just been blessed to be able to, you know, put out such quality work that people recognize it. So they'll say, hey, man, call this guy in. But I do have an agent now. Okay. You know, I do now. And I'm hard on them, so we'll see how long that lasts. But I'm going to give them some time.
Sure. Realistically, what should somebody look for in an agent, and then what are realistic expectations?
When you're looking for an agent, you should see who they have and what are they doing for them first.
Okay.
All right? And you should always know that they work for you. And if you have directors and actors and producers you want to work with, you got to say, hey, can you get me working with them? Sure. Because they'll send you out on clown roles every day if you'll settle for that. You know what I mean? So I never took a one-liner. I never took, you know, when it was that time for me, and I started out as an extra. Right. There's a bunch of movies you could push pause and see me. I'm in the back. You know what I mean? So I started from the bottom. Right. Yeah.
Absolutely. I love that. Where can we find you and more about your projects?
My Instagram is only one, Brotha Bill, BrothaBill. And if you're in California, I sing with a band at Tatel in Beverly Hills.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I do music constantly. I'm still always performing with my band as well.
Absolutely love it. And of course, our show is called Music and Medicine.
Oh,
so
Music Medicine.
I got to ask you, if you hear those words, how do they speak to your mind or resonate with you, music and medicine?
I love music. When I leave here, I'm going to the studio.
Sure.
That's my heart. That's my passion, bro. I love to write. I can write songs. I'm a great songwriter. You got to listen to it.
Sure, no, absolutely.
Now medicine, like we was talking about these knees earlier.
Exactly, right.
I got all the respect in the world. I got all the respect in the world for doctors.
Sure.
Because it's not easy. I think it's harder for you guys now because so many people are learning about holistic ways, and people nowadays, everybody don't want to take medicine from the doctor. They want to go drink a tea or something. You know what I'm saying? And it's understandable because of all the side effects that they get from those medicines.
Exactly.
You know, because I have a cousin who's a pulmonologist.
Okay.
He's the best in Fort Lauderdale.
Sure,
Brother in Fort Lauderdale, Keith Robinson, pulmonologist, doing his thing. But yeah. So it's a tricky slope for you guys. You know what I'm saying? Because it's kind of, to me, it's like you got to kind of know them both.
Right. No,
and then when some doctors don't know the other way, all they're going to do is just not talk positive about it because they know they got to sell that medicine to make that money. So,
Right,
you know.
absolutely. Yeah, and I think today you hit it on the head. You've got to be open to alternative and allow patients to work through that. And some of it will help and can work. So I don't think you should be there's no place for acupuncture, no place for therapies and things. But by the same token, if someone's developing something really serious, you don't want them, as has happened to some really famous celebs, to still be denial in the face of potential death. Because at the end of the day, we are trying to err on hopefully having people live longer.
Right.
But
That's the key.
No, thanks so much. Thanks for coming by, giving us some
thanks
time,
for having me, man.
And not only keeping it real, but also talking about some of those important elements like staying humble.
Oh yeah, that's
and
a part
working
of it.
hard and showing up on time.
That part.
Appreciate it.
Man, thanks for
so much,
having me.
Ms. Johnson.
All right.
A pleasure. Thank you.